Members of the House of Representatives on Tuesday queried the Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, over the borrowings from the assets recovery account by the federal government by government agencies. Specific reference was made to the sum of $23 million from the account, which is yet to be refunded. Idris was grilled by the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on Assessment and Status of all recovered loots, movable and immovable assets from 2002 to 2020 by agencies of the federal government of Nigeria for effective, efficient management and utilization. Adejuro Adogun, who pointed that such instances abound, wondered if money can be taken from the coffers of the government without appropriation. He said unless the Accountant General could provide evidence of the refund, it would be considered that such withdrawals were made illegal.
I'm involved in national security, and for so many reasons, even to my colleagues, I'm not disclosing certain information. They even worry for not disclosing to members of the public for security reasons. At the same time, as a committee, we need to know, and that's why I've ruled that you present this paper. We will not have that session in public, because there are a lot of things we need to know. If our fund is being used in our own interest without our knowledge, we want to know. That's why I use the word in our own interest without our knowledge, without appropriation. We need to understand how it's being used so that accountability, even if you're using it in our own interest, we should at least be accountable. We should give account of that fund that's being used in our own interest. Even if we don't give it publicly, we should give it privately so that at least public fund is not wasted. So I need for you to look at it. There's so many others like that I have not given to you, but if you look at your record, you will see them. The same way you're referring to these, all those borrowings in line with that, to all the vital, critical ministry, the critical agencies that you borrowed them to. Please, we need to get evidence that they were refunded. If they were not refunded, we are aware that some of those funds for which you borrowed funds received budgetary allocation for the same project.
The Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, in his defense, revealed that the £4.2 million loot recovered from a former governor of Delta State, James Ibori, and his associates, which was recently repatriated from the United Kingdom, has been returned to Delta State.
This again is the same as the first one given to me.
Anyway, okay, even if you said this the $23 million,
yes,
is stated as borrowing.
It is.
I asked you, the borrowed fund, was it refunded?
I know at different times we made a representation to the then Honorable Minister of Finance to the effect that some of these borrowings need to be provided for in the budget and paid for. And as far as I know, this in particular, or that 23 in particular, which is tagged as borrowing, I cannot conclude here that it has been paid, because I need to go down the records to determine exactly if it is paid or not. But I know if it is tagged as borrowing, it should be paid.
Meanwhile, Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami, who also appeared before the committee, said the National Assembly was slowing down effective management of recovered assets by the non-passage of the Proceeds of Crimes Bill. The bill, he said, has put in place effective mechanisms in terms of database, disposal, processes, and procedure to manage recovered assets. Idris' disclosure was, however, contrary to the stance of Malami, who had said the agreement the federal government had with the British government was to use the repatriated loot to complete specific ongoing projects. The committee said it would meet with the Accountant General on Thursday in a closed-door meeting to give a breakdown of such borrowings by government agencies and also to prove such monies have been refunded. Annie T. Patrick, Core TV News, Abuja.